Our third solution today is called Women Techsters, and Dewura Oladepo from Nigeria is the leader of Women Techsters. She is bringing training to underserved communities. She's had amazing success in Nigeria. She's ready to scale this program across Africa to help bring digital and technical skills to women across Africa. This is a much needed set of skills to help enhance careers and livelihoods, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dewura, and I work with Tech for Dev. So I'd like to tell you a story about a young lady called Fatima Ahmed. Fatima is one of the beneficiaries of the Women Techsters program, and she's come from an underserved community in Ilorin in Nigeria. Fatima looked for a job for a really long time and stumbled on the Women Techsters program through a friend of ours. She went through our 2-week training program, and at the end of the training, she was able to get an internship placement as a front-end developer with a top software company in Lagos. 3 weeks into the internship, Fatima did get selected into the Microsoft Leap Engineering program, which is Microsoft's commitment towards building women software engineers in Nigeria and in Africa. There are a lot of women out there who want to be just like Fatima, but do not have access to the requisite skills to do so. And this is because there's a huge gender gap between men and women in the technology ecosystem in Nigeria and across Africa. As you can see behind me, for every 10 people in technology in Nigeria and Africa, 9 are men and 1 is a woman. So the Women Techsters program was actually born out of the need to bridge the digital divide between men and women in the technology ecosystem. Our mission is further strengthened by an African proverb that says, if you educate a man, you educate an individual. But if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. Yeah, thank you. So women play a very vital role in economic development, and we think it's very important to provide them access to such opportunities. So talking a bit about the Women Techsters program the Women Techsters is an experiential learning program for women within the ages of 16 to 40, teaching them digital and deep tech skills across 5 tracks: web and mobile development, games development, Internet of Things, data science, and artificial intelligence. And we did this with 3 objectives in mind. We wanted the women to get access to jobs. We wanted them to study STEM at a more advanced level, and we wanted them to actually go start up their own technology businesses. So we did a pilot called the Nigerian Women Techsters, which was done in Nigeria, and we had tremendous results. We've trained over 2,475 women across 12 communities in 12 states in Nigeria, and 25% of them are currently in a STEM-related course right now in universities and advanced level. 70% of them have started careers in STEM, and 5% of them are starting their own businesses at sort of like an MVP level. Here are some of the partners that made this possible for us: Microsoft, GIZ, and some of the state governments in Nigeria. And so I know the big question in people's minds are, how many more Fatimas can we train? Are there job opportunities for them out there? I would say a big yes. According to the IFC, by 2030, 230 million jobs in sub-Saharan Africa will require digital skills. And hence the reason why we have this ambitious goal where we're going to train 5 million women by 2030 across Africa. So what do we need to get to where we're going? Partners, partners, partners. We need financial partners who could support our learning delivery. We need technology and infrastructure partners such as partners with connectivity that could provide us innovation hubs, corporate partners, and among others. And we also need learning delivery partners that could help us strengthen our curriculum and provide some sort of mentorship for our women. You could follow us, our progress and our work at our website and our social media handles, and we do hope that you help us to be able to get women a place in the future of work. Thank you.
Okay, if our acceleration partners could please join us on stage. Thank you, Dewura. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah. My name is Ashit Patel, and I work with Salesforce, where we believe that the business of business is to improve the state of the world. What you're doing is amazing because, as we all know, that a key driver of GDP is a very vibrant, strong, skilled women in workforce. And that's what you enable at scale and with very low cost. You've proven that in Nigeria, and as you guys reach out across the African continent and beyond, I'm looking forward to seeing how you guys develop the tech partnership as well as corporate partnerships to make that happen, and would like to hear more thoughts from you on that.
Okay, so thank you. We're looking to the kind of a bit of partnerships that we're working on in terms of technical partnerships. We're looking for learning delivery, like I said earlier, learning delivery partners. We're looking to strengthen our curriculum. So we're looking for some sort of like organizations that have content. So we're looking towards like building like a larger platform where we can aggregate content for the women to actually go on in their learning phase, to actually go learn more on the platform. So it's one thing to come to the program for 2 weeks. It's another thing because this is a lifelong journey, and it's important that there are access to resources for them to be able to go ahead and do this. So that's very important to us. Then the mentorship as well for the women, it's very, very important to us. We're looking for organizations who are passionate about women and their development and can serve as some sort of like role models to these women. Because one of the surveys that we did personally, one of the major reasons why the women said they were not interested in technology was because most of the role models, right, are male. So we're looking at a situation where we could have more women who could come into the program and show them the girl power and say, you can do this, right? You can become who you want to become, and these opportunities out there exist for you. Thank you.
I'm Radhika Shah, representing the SDG Philanthropy Platform, which is a global platform launched in 8 countries, bringing government, UN, and philanthropy together. I want to applaud the work of women texters in Nigeria, making technology education an equalizer so that we can achieve SDG 5, especially at this moment when we have transformational leaders like the Deputy Secretary General, also from Nigeria, Amina Mohammed, transforming the world. It's exciting to see how you're creating so many others like her. My question is, how can we, the SDG Philanthropy Platform, help with partnerships with UN, government, philanthropy? How could we add value?
So we're basically looking for, like I said, like partners. So we're looking more at, for example, within the UN, for example, would be like the UN women. We're also looking at the UNDP. We're also looking at the ITU. They will be like very important partners for us to onboard, for us to be able to sort of scale our work. We're also looking for like our government partnerships because we understand the critical role of advocacy and the critical role of having government support behind you. You're able to go further in terms of implementing the program that way. So those kind of partnerships will be very critical to us and will be helpful.
Dura, what you're doing is amazing. And you know, empowering women drive the economy of the African continent, and that's the reality that we need to face. And I really want to know how can I, from Startup Bootcamp, sorry everyone, my name is Matabani from Startup Bootcamp. I really want to know how we can partner together with you to take women, put them in jobs, and accelerate the technology landscape and innovation landscape across the continent.
Okay, so in terms of the jobs bit, it's for us it's quite important that the women are able to, you know, get into some level of like, how do I put it? So get them into the kind of jobs that are quite important for them in terms of the learning tracks that we had mentioned. So in terms of the entrepreneurship bit, we're looking more for our like your organization, like innovation hubs that can assist us with mentorship and funding for the women who want to go into the entrepreneurial track. Very important for them, such that they can continue with what it is that they've started out. Quite a number of them, like I said, are already at some level of MVP. They are now currently looking for some level of funding to advance the work that they do. So it's very important to us if we can get like access to sort of like innovation hubs that can help us achieve those goals.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mariamai Brhanu. I am by profession a civil engineer. I've been working in civil engineering for about 10 years now, and I also did my master's in civil engineering. So I learned about the Take for Dave program on Facebook, and when I saw it, I was actually excited because it said a 6 months program. It used to worry me if I joined Take, it would like take me like the usual university programs, maybe 5 years, 4 years. I used to think like that. So when I saw it was a 6 months program, it relieved me. And so I took the exam, and fortunately I passed, which was really great for me. I used to think that it was a complicated thing. Coding, whatever Take courses, I used to think they were very complicated. And when I joined, I learned that coding is simply a language, and you learn just like you learn French, just like you learn English, and then like you learn language to programming language. So that's the first thing, that I learned when I joined the Tech for Dev program. I joined the data science program. So with everything is all about solution giving and all about making good business decisions. So it's all about simplifying things, which really rhymes with my thinking pattern. I learned how to think, I learned how to ask critical questions, and I also learned how to, answer those questions critically and to the point. And I also learned that how I can, with the soft skills and everything, how I can communicate what I have worked on, because there are layman people and there are also people like us. So they have to integrate, in order to understand each other. And that I learned it through visualizations and also through the soft skills. So it was a really good 6 months stay for me. Thank God I managed it. So this seems like how my Tech for Dave story is. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Isra. I'm a clinical pharmacist with a great interest in data science and programming. My goal and dream is to combine this interest with my medical and pharmaceutical expertise That's why I started self-learning in the field of data analysis 4 months ago. I have successfully passed a data analysis nano degree program by Udacity last February. I'm also a graduate of clinical.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon from wherever you're joining us from. Good afternoon, Lagos. Good afternoon, Algeria. Good afternoon, Mozambique, and every other country joining us from 22 African countries. My name is Oluwafunso Midiji. I am the digital media lead at Tech for Dev, and today I'm joined by Blessing Ashe, Women Texas Programs lead. Blessing, you can turn on your video now.
Okay. Hi. Good
Hi,
afternoon.
Blessing.
Hi, Funshaw. How you
Good
doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How are you too?
I'm doing very well, so thank you. Hello,
So
everyone. Welcome to today's session.
yes. So today we are joined by a lot of people, obviously from 22 African countries, and we are hoping that we can answer some of their questions, especially around the motivation video they're supposed to make, which is like a criteria for the first phase of the Women Texas Fellowship class of 2024. So, Blessing, would you just speak maybe generally on how the application process have been going, the numbers we've been getting, and maybe some encouragement for people that have not yet signed up, that this is a good time to sign up.
Okay. Thank you so much, Funshaw. Hello, everyone. Once again, wherever you're joining us from. I mean, I don't know the time it is for you, but in Nigeria, yeah, it's 3:03. It's good to have us join this session. Funshaw has asked that I speak to the application and also to encourage someone who is planning on applying in the last minute. Don't do that. Don't do that. Apply now. I mean, we've received a lot of applications already, and we also think that you should not plan. Don't procrastinate. I'm sure that when our guests join us today, you'd probably learn more from them on how they took proactive steps and how they ensure that they didn't procrastinate. Because I mean, you can always say, "I'll do it later," and then later comes and you forget, and the application, comes to an end. So just know that we have received a lot of applications and we are waiting for yours as well. We want you to give it your best shot. We want you to do that thing, push it. I know that you may be wondering, why do I have to submit a video? But it's important that you submit the video as well. So today we are here this video is to help you, understand how to submit the video. And I think most important thing is the fact that people who have submitted videos, videos that aced the process for them are the ones that we're speaking today, and you can learn from them on how they did it, what they did, and how you can submit a good video. So yeah, welcome everybody, and let's have fun together while we learn. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Blessing. Before I introduce some of the alumni that are joining us, I wanted to ask, the motivation video obviously is a major part of the process, Blessing. And I wanted to understand what the mindset of the team was when they thought that it was important that we inculcate a motivation video to the face of the application. What do you think we were trying to achieve? And yeah, around the motivation video.
Okay, so thanks for sure. One of the reasons why, so there are a couple of reasons why we thought to do motivational video. I'll speak to some. The first was because we really wanted to get to know why people really think the program is important to them. From testimonials that you have probably watched or read on social media, you would have seen how a lot of people talk about how the program is a life-changing experience for them. And we also understand the fact that if you are going to go to pay for a course like this on other learning platforms, you know how much it will cost. So we didn't want people who come on the program that this program is not what they want, or they probably should be doing some other courses or learning some other things. So we wanted people who have interest, in participating in the fellowship program. So that's one of the reasons why we had incorporated the video. So if you are able to do a video, you've gone the extra mile to show how much you really want to participate in the program. Another reason why we had gone ahead to include this is because remember that the fellowship is currently open to people in 22 African countries. So, for example, if you are not in any of 22 African countries, you can actually, with the video, state why you should be selected, despite the fact that your country is not listed in any of the 22 African countries. And who knows, if you have a compelling video as to why you are applying, why you need it at this time, where the fellowship opportunities will take you to, how it will affect and impact your community by being selected. I mean, and then I think another final thing would be that generally, we also wanted to get to meet people before the meet, before other things. Like we want to see why you are applying. Do you really know what you are applying for? You know, why do you think the Women Techsters Fellowship is very relevant for you at this particular point in time? You know, how would it benefit you? How would it benefit your community? All of these things we may not be able to see within your application, but within your video, we believe that you're able to speak to the fact that, oh, for example, my name is this, I live in this community or this cluster group. For me, you know, while digital education has been something that people have been running away from, and I'm taking that bold step today to do it, you know, by participating in the Women Techsters Fellowship Class of 2024. I'm not just participating alone, but the other 200 women and girls in my communities, you know, I've put in place measures to be able to step down knowledge, you know, to my community members, you know, teach them this, you know, teach the students in this community. This is not a template anyway, but this is just to say that we want to hear why you are applying and how the fellowship would impact you for good. And you can also speak to, oh, this is what I intend to do afterwards. Let's be sure that you're not planning to, even if you want to go into entrepreneurship, we want to see the technology bit of the entrepreneurship, and not that you just want to go back and do some other stuff. So yeah, thank you. Sure.
Thank you so much, Blessing. So now we can bring up our alumni today, and we're going to be joined by Tolu Wani, and we're also going to be joined by Israel Mustafa, and also we're expecting Damilola Beba. These are outstanding products of the Women Textiles Fellowship Class of 2023. They have gone through the process of the 1-year program, and these are like ideal examples of the people you want to be like, you know, because they've walked your journey, they've gone through the process. And so I'm just going to be giving the opportunity for each of them to introduce themselves and also like speak to the learning track they just graduated from and what they are currently doing. So over to you, Isra.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Blessing.
Hi, Isra. It's good to have you.
Hi, Isra. It's good to have you join us.
Hello. Hello, everyone. So, Isra from Egypt. I'm graduated from Data Science and AI, class of 2023. I'm currently working as a pharmacist in the Ministry of Health, hospitals, and a preceptor.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for that introduction, Israel. Toluwani, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Toluwani from Nigeria. I graduated from the product design track of class 2023, and I currently work as a UI UX design intern at Minstack. Thank you.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Toluwani. I think from the drawback, I was going to ask that, did you start working with Minstack after you graduated, or was it something you were already doing before?
It was after I graduated. I got the
That's
internship
amazing.
opportunity after my training.
Congratulations. I'm happy to hear that. That shows that fellowship is, you know, getting the results that we needed to get. And we're so happy for you. Congratulations once again.
Thank you.
I know you know why you are here as our bona fide alumni. We know that you have some tips and tricks up your sleeves that you want to maybe share with some of the prospective Women Techsters Fellows that will be coming up in class of 2024. So one of the major criteria for becoming a fellow is for you to obviously pass through the first phase, the second phase, and all of that. But one major criteria that seems like a big deal for a lot of people is the motivation video. So I think my first question would be, how did you perceive that part of the application? What was your first initial reaction when you realized that you were supposed to make a video? I'll start with Israel and then I'll go to Toluwani to also hear what her initial thoughts were when she saw that the motivation video was part of the criteria.
To be honest, at first I was worried, but I dealt with it as a challenge, and it really helped me to organize my thoughts. And I'm happy. I'm happy to do this motivation video. Yes, it's okay to be worried at first.
Can you come again?
Can't you hear me?
Yes, but can you go over your thoughts again?
Okay, I said that I have dealt with it as a challenge. It wasn't the first time to make a motivation video for me, but I was really worried. After I have made the video, I was happy because it helped me to organize my thoughts, and it's really a good experience and a good challenge.
Well, that's interesting that you said that.
Yeah.
Toluwani, do you want to speak on your initial reaction when you saw that particular part of the application?
Yes, for me, I had missed the first email that was shared, and by the time I got the second email, I think I got it just few hours before the deadline, and so it was very challenging for me. I needed to do something in a hurry, and it was my first time of making a motivation video. I remember I was on my way out that particular day, but I needed to do something and submit because the video to me gave me the knowledge that the training was going to be quite competitive. So I tried to put in my best, and despite all the challenges of me not gaining enough confidence, making several attempts, I was still able to come up with something good, and I submitted it. Yeah, so that's it for me.
So I'm happy to hear that we have the best of both worlds. So we have Israel who has made a motivation video before, and so maybe for her it wasn't necessarily like the first point of call. Like this is the first time I'm ever encountering making a motivation video. While we have you, Toluwani, that has never made a video before, a motivation video before to qualify for an application or a scholarship, and both of you obviously approached it in different ways, but of course at the end of the day it's a challenge that I love that you were able to surmount, because I mean if you did not surmount it you'll probably not be here today. So I think that one of the questions I want to ask is not necessarily towards the motivation video now, but I wanted you to talk about your experience during the program, and then before we now start digging into the nitty-gritty of um, the entire motivation video and how to make a good one. So how would you quantify your experience and the impact it has made in your career in the women? How would you quantify that experience at the Women Techsters Fellowship? Israel.
Okay, the experience was fruitful. I think it's condensed, but it's worth it. It improved my soft skills, my technical skills. I really, I don't talk too much, but I think it's worth it. Yeah, it condensed, but it's worth it. We have done a lot of projects. It is not just a theoretical study, which is important in the tech field, to have projects and to have your portfolio.
Thank you very much for that. Toluwani, what would you say has been your experience with the Women Techsters Fellowship, and how would you say it has impacted your career?
Okay, thank you. For me, it was like the most structured learning path I was opportune to have. Although prior to the Women Techsters, I had been involved in a few trainings, but that was the most structured for me and was like the major ground where I got to also work with other designers on projects, and that was also the point for me to work on full detailed portfolio projects, which helped me to gain my internship. So for me, it was the whole structure that stands out for me.
Thank you very much for that answer. And so let's just go down straight into the motivation video. For Toluwani, you said that you've never made one before. So when you were about to make your video, what stood out for you? Like, what was like your creative process when creating your video? How did you start? What are the things you had to put in place in order to make a good motivational video that eventually got you into the program?
Okay. Although I had scattered thoughts at the initial start of making the video because I wasn't balanced, but when I was balanced, the first thing for me was trying to connect my thoughts and letting it out, in letting them know the major reason why I needed to get on the fellowship, like what was driving me and what I intend to do with the training I get from the fellowship. And for me, I think the major factor everyone should include is the humanity factor. Whatever track you are going to be getting into in your video, ensure that your dreams or your aspirations towards the training is still centered around the humanity factor. So I ensure that I put that into my content for the video, and everything I said was centered around that.
Thank you very much. It was interesting to know, Toluwani, because you said, I mean, at the beginning, you had scattered thoughts. It wasn't like you've ever made a motivation video before, but you were still able to put yourself together. And I remember that your story is very peculiar because you were the lady that made 81 attempts towards your motivation video. That means that you recorded yourself 81 times to get the best video that you eventually submitted for the application. Run me through what was going through your mind. Let me understand. That's a lot of determination, dedication, and you just wanting to make something perfect. So run me through that process.
Okay. Initially, I had scattered thoughts. Like I said earlier, I did not know how to start, did not know what to say, but then I did not allow that discourage me. I put on the camera and just started saying something. You know, when you say something and you say, no, no, I made a mistake. Oh, no, this. So from there, I kept pausing. There were some I recorded to the end, but when I play, I'll be like, no, if I'm the one to grade this video, I won't grade myself well. So from then I continued until the last attempt, which was the best for me because it was like the previous attempts were just rehearsals for me because I did not have an opportunity to rehearse before that afternoon. So it was just like the first 80 videos were for rehearsals, trying to get my thoughts. At the point, I had to pick up a pen and a paper right there to write the thoughts and try to memorize them. So that was just it. I kept doing it till I got the best one. You know, I would record, play. So when I recorded that and I played it, and I was like, okay, if I'm to grade myself, or if I'm the one to grade this video, I think it's good to go. Then I decided to submit. It was after submission I said, oh, let me count how many attempts I made. And I never knew it was even as much as that, but I knew I was good to go at that point.
Wow, that's that's amazing. I think one thing that I picked from what you just said is you put yourself in the shoes of the examiner and you asked yourself the question, if it were me grading this motivation video, would I accept me into the Women Texas Fellowship program? And I think that that's very profound because the ability to be able to put yourself in the shoes of the examiner is what then propelled you to make a very good video. Blessing has some thoughts. Blessing, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Toluwani, I mean, looking at the fact that you did 81 videos, I must say that you persevered and you have stamina. I mean, let me use the word long suffering because I mean, I know it can be a lot trying to record and record and record and record. Just to be very clear, and so that it's also simple for the viewers who are joining us today. When you say you recorded a video, I know you had said it before, or you probably touched it, but do you mind just stating a little bit of the content you put within your video? So that, because I mean, from the back end, we've seen some people, when we say that they should speak about their motivational video, some people, I mean, two scenarios. For some people, they will copy maybe their favorite speaker, and then maybe somebody they love so much, and then they'll come and say, this person is the person that is motivating me. And then for some other persons, they will just attach a video of their favorite quotes from somebody, a renowned person, and then they'll post it there and say that is their motivational video. So just so that it's clear for the people that are joining us, when we mean motivational video, what exactly did you do? Did you copy some other person's like your favorite? I'm sure everybody have like somebody you look up to. Did you copy a favorite quote or maybe a video from that person, or you sat in the camp with your camera and you said, "Hello, my name is Toluwani. I'm applying for the women tech." I think that they would, our viewers right now or people listening would really want to get that information from you.
Okay, blessing. So by the time I got my thoughts arranged, I started by introducing myself and moving on to the reason why I was interested in getting the fellowship. So that is the motivation. In simpler times, why are you interested in getting into this fellowship? What's motivating you? So for me, as a product design student at that time, my motivation was to create functional visual products that ease user experiences. So in simple terms, why are you interested in why should we choose you? What do you intend to do after getting this training? So that's like your motivation. Then I went on to also talk about how the training would help me to give back to the society, that is through the products that I would create after getting knowledgeable on the whole way to go around creating products. How do I intend to also give back to the society relating to my track? So that is just it in simple terms, talking about why you want to get into and what you intend to do with your training. That was it for me. You can now decide to add other things, but when it comes to making motivation videos, I think it's about why you are interested and what you intend to do with the training. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Fusha, over to you.
Thank you so much, Toluwani. I think you even broke it down more because now you have told us that in order to make a successful motivational video, it's important that you ask yourself the why. Why should you qualify for this particular scholarship? Why should you be considered amongst the many others that would be applying? Why should you be considered in 22 African countries? Why should it be you, BC of Nigeria? Why not some other person in Egypt? Why not some other person in Algeria? Why should it be you? I think that's very important. And also, you mentioned that aside the why, it's also important to articulate what you want to use the program to do at the end of the day. I'm still coming back to you, Toluwani, but let me just like hear some thoughts from Israel. So the same line of thought as well. What did you put in place, and what were the things you made sure you had before you started your motivation video?
So I have started, was lucky enough to have time. So I have started with doing research to know exactly how could I make my motivation video, the headlines that I have to be considered in my motivation video. Then I have done my research on Tech for Dev and the scholarship itself. It's important to show that you are aware of this scholarship and the organization goals and the benefits. This shows that you are interested and you are keen. You are not just playing and trying to get a scholarship where you don't know what they are offering. For me, for example, I know that there were live classes, there were networking and community tech community. So this is important to know the organization you are applying for. Then I have to set my thoughts into points to be organized, starting with introducing myself, my name, what I'm doing right now. For example, you could say you are a computer science student or graduate, or for me, I'm a pharmacist. Then talking about your interest and your goals. For example, for me, I was interested in improving my technical skills to improve patients' health and quality of life in the in the healthcare sector. Then, what are the steps that you have taken to achieve these goals? Your experience, your skills, what makes you unique, the courses you have taken, even if you have did small steps, but this shows that you could show commitment in the future and that you are really interested. Then how the scholarship could help you to achieve these goals, and what are the plans after the scholarship, and how would you give back to the community. And then you should end up with a clear message. The motivation video should be clear, brief, precise. Then so you could end up with a clear message. For example, I would love to be part of this community. It will be a good opportunity to get the scholarship. Then after this, after organizing my thoughts, I pull it up together and rewrite it and refine it to remove the unnecessary words and unnecessary details. As I have mentioned before, it should be brief to avoid losing the interest of the one who are watching you. Then practicing. I was lucky enough to have time to practice. Practicing is important. You could practice in front of a mirror or your colleague or your friend. Practicing will make you more comfortable and more natural, and will help you to adjust the time. You have a time limit. It's important to stick to the guidelines that is mentioned by the organization. If it was set to make a 60 seconds video, don't make it too long or too short. So it's important to practice and to set your time limit.
Isra, if I end this live session right now, I think we are done. I think you have successfully articulated what a motivation video should look like and what you should do to have a successful one. I love the fact that you said that it is important you do your research. And that's one thing that a lot of people that possibly did not make class of 23 and possibly might not make the class of 24 might, be failing at, because it's important that you just do your research about the organization that is trying to give you this scholarship, just like you've articulated. It's important that you know the criteria for the application process, what is expected of you. Just do exactly what is expected of you. I noted that down, that you said, oh, it's important to look at the vision of the program. What are they trying to achieve, and how can you fit yourself into that? You said something about making sure that you follow the guidelines of the motivation video. If they're asking you to make a 2-minute video, make it as concise as possible, not too long, not too short, just hitting the nail on the head. So what would you say, Isra, to somebody who on the 27th of April, when we launched, had already submitted their motivation video? Would you think that that kind of person was well prepared, or had been able to, fix up all of that process? Because I know a lot of people rushed quickly to go register and all of that. What would you say to somebody like that?
um, they may have experience before on making motivation videos, but it's better to take your time and to think about it, because this shows that you are interested. You are not just making a video and send it. And I wish they have a good luck to have their videos done in a good way, although they have submitted really fast.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody like Toluani that's recorded a video 81 times, do you find
Yeah.
it strange that somebody was able to deliver their video almost immediately after the launch? Toluani, I would like to hear your thoughts.
Oh, okay. Can you please go over the question? I thought you were
Okay, so I
asking
was saying
usually.
that for somebody who recorded a video 81 times before putting in
Okay.
a motivational video, would you find it strange that somebody was able to turn in theirs within the short hour within which we launched the program?
Oh no, I don't find it strange. Well, for me, it was my first time, so that was like a reason. And then I had not practiced before that moment I wanted to submit. So for someone who starts practicing immediately, the form is out and is able to come up with something, maybe probably because of experience, or you're just being more confident than I was at that time. It's not strange. It's not strange. It's just
I
about
love
having your thoughts and practicing.
I love that you all believe the best in people, but I would like the Women Texas Programs Lead lesson to speak on the possibility of someone maybe acing their motivational video within that short period of time, and if there are exceptions, of course, to the general rule, definitely. But what are
All right,
percentage?
so I want to stand with Toluwani because I'm my sister's keeper. I honestly think that some people maybe this is probably not their first time. So doing a motivational video for them may not be a problem. But if I'm going to speak from the back end as well, I also think that some persons didn't have a motivational video, but still went ahead to post. I don't have a motivational video in the session where they were supposed to upload their video. I know that for those set of people, um, well, because tech for them is tech for them, and because we are very, very human centered, we are human centric, and we put everybody as first place. There's a lot of conversations around people who probably didn't read the instructions, because I know there were instructions around what you should do and what you shouldn't do. So for people who didn't read the instruction, or who really didn't understand what the motivational video were all about, I know that there are a couple of things that had gone into ensuring to correct that. But I want to speak from a standpoint of, I know that Israel and Toluwani and maybe probably Damlola at some point will also speak about the video. I think that maybe also speaking about the background to your video is very, very important. From experience, I remember last year there was a particular video we were reviewing. Although the person from the back end, the person who submitted the video was trying to speak a motivational video, but she was not properly dressed. She was At some point she was twerking, at some point, she
Interesting.
was not. So when I mean dress is, nobody's asking you to be like formal, like you're going for an interview, but at least you have to be corporate casual, at least, because like I know that Toluani and Israel has mentioned that you don't know who is interviewing, who is watching your video rather, and you also do not want to send a signal that may not sit well with whoever that is looking at your video. So you want to try as much as possible to have a very good background. You don't have pictures behind you that is saying something that is completely different from who you are. You also do not want to have you don't want to do your video in a noisy place, because whoever that is listening, if the person can't pick your voice, if the voice is distorted, then remember what communication is all about. You are communicating to somebody, and the receiver should be able to get your message and be able to decode what you are trying to say from the message as well. So, but I honestly think that for people who went ahead to submit within the first few, within the first few hours or the hours when the message had the application had gone out. So it's either you are a pro, you've probably asked, maybe you've asked questions from Toluwani and Isra and the other past alumni to say, oh, what's the questions, of course, we change questions, but you've probably asked, well, their general questions that, oh, maybe they will ask me about my motivation. So you probably have prepared ahead of time and you just decided to tweak your message, And then for your video, you probably have heard that, at some point they will ask you to do a video and maybe you've done a video. This is me trying to put all hopes high. That you probably did your video, you did all the checks, you cleaned your video, you did everything well, and then you submitted, But for people who didn't do that, there are a couple of things that we've put in place to ensure that at least we are nice people and we can carry everybody along, for sure.
Well, thank you very much, Blessing. I know I was just trying to understand, let's just explore how people were able to deliver that. Of course, there are exceptions to the general rule, but I remember that one of Israel's point was that it's important that you practice well enough to be very well articulated. She also mentioned that one good thing is you can practice in front of a mirror before you eventually maybe upload your final video. You can practice in front of somebody and all of that. So while we're talking, Peba joined us. Dami, welcome. Just introduce yourself, your learning track, and maybe the significant role you played during the Women Techsters Fellowship class of 2023.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here. Yes, my learning track was.
Sorry, hold on, Dami. I'm not sure I can hear you, but I need others to confirm if they can hear you clearly. Can we hold? Yeah,
No.
Can you hear me?
No. It's distorted, like it's breaking.
Okay, thank you very much. I think, Dami, maybe your network is not great. If you can just fix that, and then you can also have the opportunity to speak. Okay, so one thing I noticed when I was watching each and everyone's motivation video, because I know I watched Israel's video, and I think that one of the things I was able to see from that is when she mentioned the fact that she was not necessarily a novice to data analysis, and that she had taken some courses from Udacity, if I'm correct. Israel, why do you think that it was important for you to mention what you were already doing in order to have a successful motivation video?
Could you repeat your question, please?
Okay, so I said when I was watching your video, you mentioned that you had already taken some courses from Udacity and all that. And so it was important for you to tell us that you were not necessarily like a novice in this program. You had already started something. Why do you think it was important to mention what you have already done in order to have a good motivational video?
Yes. Okay, showing your experience or what you have already done make a good impression that you are a good learner and that you will commit and show commitment in this scholarship, and that you have a basic background that could help you to go through it. So that's it, to show interest and commitment. Yeah.
That's great. I think that that's one other point that is important that I reiterate to aspiring fellows. As much as possible, it's important that you also, in a way, put your best foot forward, helping us to realize that, oh, this is what I've done before. Just like she said, it just shows that it just shows some level of commitment because you have done this before, you've learned something before. It shows to us that you can also do well in this particular program. So another thing that I noticed that you articulated was how the skills that you have in terms of the data analysis that you've already, the knowledge you've gotten from university, how the skills that you have acquired would also help you in your clinical practice. So I want you to speak a bit on that. Do you think that over the time that you have been in the program, you have been able to see the impact of the program, for example, in your clinical practice?
Yes, although I haven't started yet a role in the data science, but it helped me. It helped me a lot, yeah.
Okay, thank you
I
very
think
much.
that's especially in the data science, yeah, especially in the data science, it's about how do you think. The technical skills, we could all learn the technical skills, but how do you think is the important thing. Language programming, programming languages and tools. Just give. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
What I'm talking about is that learning programming languages and tools are just tools, but how you use these tools in every sector is the important thing. So I think it's related to all sectors in our life.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. So you're saying that even though you've not directly practiced, but the fact that the course allows you to improve on your critical thinking and be analytical, you're being able to then apply that to your daily practice, which is great. Dami, are you back now? So can you introduce yourself, your learning track in the class of 2023?
Okay, thank you very much.
Not quite. Toluwani, please confirm for me that you can hear Dami clearly.
Not clearly from my end. I can't hear her clearly.
Okay. We're just going to hold on with Dami and hope that she's able to join us properly. So just to round up now, in terms of how important is the video quality that you send, and what are the things that you need to put in place in order to have a quality video? So when I'm talking about quality, I'm talking about the output now, not necessarily in terms of what you say, but like in terms of the background, setup, and all of that. How important do you think that the quality of the video is to the motivational video? Toluwani.
Okay. We all know that as humans, beautiful things attract. So in whatever thing we are doing, we should always strive to be excellent. So in creating a motivation video, you should ensure that your video is as attractive as you want it to be. So you have to ensure that you are in a well lit environment, a quiet environment, so that whatever you say can be heard clearly, and so that from the first click of the examiner, he or she is interested in wanting to listen to you. So he or she already has that good impression just from viewing you and being able to see you and being able to hear you clearly. So you should ensure that as well as you articulate your thoughts well, you should also ensure that you are in your best position in a very quiet environment and making good use of a clear device to record yourself.
Well,
That's
thank you
it.
very much. I love that you said that we all love beautiful things. And the honest truth is, as much as we are not going to place emphasis on the quality of your video in terms of the output, it's just it's just important that you put your best foot forward. So I will allow Blessing to speak on some of the criteria for a successful motivational video. But as a digital media lead at Tech for Dev, I know the importance of output. So when it comes to recording a video, I think that it's important that you are in a place that is well lit up. I think that it's important that when you're making a video, you are properly dressed for the occasion, like Blessing had earlier mentioned. Don't if you have a plain background to use, that would be like a good place to be, maybe a white background or something where you can stay. It's also important that you are maybe in a place that is well lit up. If you don't have the gadgets and the lights and the LED lights and all of that, it's important that you are maybe sitting in front of a window, which will then illuminate your face, and your video will come out well. Also, if you are using a regular phone, it's important that you clean the viewfinder. That's like the camera part of the video. Most of the time, if you are using any of these smartphones, it's recommended that you record with your back camera, not your front camera. I know that a lot of people would prefer to record with their front camera because they want to see themselves. But the disadvantage of using the front camera is that you are looking at yourself, not the camera. You're not looking at the viewfinder. So the likelihood that you're connecting eye to eye with your audience is very slim. But I mean, if you use a front camera, it's still fine. But back camera is what is recommended. It's also important that maybe before you start your video, you sort of have your thoughts in place. Maybe you have a script that you have written to articulate your mindset about the motivational video. So when you have a script like that, it's able to guide you on how to the progression of your video. Maybe you want to make an introduction, the body of the video, and then the conclusive part of the video. So those are like kind of the general way to make a video that will make the output very good. Also, if you are using maybe a Samsung phone or an iPhone, depending on what you use, you can also decide to shoot in 4K. And when you shoot in 4K, the quality of the video is just better. When you export, also when you've edited your video and you export, you also export in 4K. Those are kind of technicalities that go into having a quality video, especially coming from your phone. Nobody's asking you to go get a DSLR to shoot a proper. I mean, if you do that, we would not, we would not say no. We would just appreciate the fact that you want to be excellent. But I guess everybody already has a smartphone that can do recording these days, and maybe a DSLR would not necessarily be an option. But I mean, it's not something we are opposed to. So again, Blessing, can you please just run us through some of the criteria for making a motivational video, especially a motivational video for the Women Techsters Fellowship? Because you could have made a motivational video for Harvard, for example. It might not be what is obtainable for the Women Techsters Fellowship. So it's important that the motivational video is tailored to the expectation of the Women Techsters Fellowship program.
Okay, thank you so much, Funsho, and thank you for walking them through how to, use their smartphone or their device to be able to, have a good video output. I think that you can have a very good smartphone and still not make the selection. And this is strictly because of the fact that it's your content that also matters. Both of them have to go hand in hand. And in all honesty, is that we understand that a lot of people may not have. I mean, people are not at the same page when it comes to device. So, for example, some other person may be using a smartphone, while another person is using maybe an iPhone. So we understand that, and we're not going to judge you. We're going to try as much as possible not to put that as a big judgment, even though we expect that your video is clear. But what I would say is that I know that Toluani and Israel has said a whole lot. I mean, who does that? I mean, who does that? We give you an application and yet we are walking you through how to submit your application. I'm not sure anybody does that. Everybody expects that you find your path. But here we are giving you an opportunity to scale up as a woman in tech. And yet we are still showing you the right path. So this is how we think you should do it. Because we are not how we are not how to fail anybody. Unfortunately, we can only take in a very few because a lot that there's a lot involved at this time, but we are not housed to. The idea is not to make everybody fail, but just so that you are part of the very few that will be selected. It's very important that you consider the following. First things first is your motivation. Why did you think of applying for the Women Techsters Fellowship? And I will say this again, there are a lot of learning platforms that you can choose to apply for one tech skill or not. I'm sure that Israel and Toluwani know that. But why exactly are you applying for the Women Techsters Fellowship at this time? Of course, Women Techsters Fellowship is tuition free, so it means that the training process is free. But why should you be given the free opportunity? I mean, if we are only going to select 1,000, for example, why should you be one of the 1,000 out of the thousands of other thousands that will be receiving the application? That is your motivation. I can't tell you my motivation most likely will be different from your motivation because we are coming from two different backgrounds. If, for example, I live in an urban area, and as much as people consider urban to be very enriched, my story can be the fact that although I live in an urban area, I'm probably staying with somebody, I'm not able to, there could be different stories, not able to cater for the everyday needs or not being financially buoyant to meet everyday needs. Or maybe you initially started a career and you are looking at swapping so that you can meet the needs of other people. You want to be able to, contribute your quota as a woman in tech. You want to be able to empower other women and girls. You want to be able to. It could also be the fact that there is no female in your family that has a tech background simply because they always have this idea that tech is for men, or simply because of the fact that they would rather have you do other things that will give you more time, and then you are trying to defend the fact that going into tech would not only give me more time, will also help me to be able to interact with men, do the things that are impossible. Let's not forget that Hilda in Nigeria right now is breaking a record, and so you want to break a record and you also want to set a record. So in your own niche, you are doing your thing. So what is important again is one of the things important is your motivation. Why are you applying? Another thing to also say is that aside from the reason of why are you applying is I am not going to give you a training and at the end of the day, you don't intend to give back. Or I'm not seeing how the training is going to impact you or your community. And it's very important that you're able to state this. You're able to state how you intend to impact other people. See, nobody is asking you, number is okay, maybe they told you number is good, number is great. But for us, if you are able to impact some other person, maybe 10, 5, 20 other women because you participated in this program, has now saw the need to come into tech, you have done something great. We really want to see that, we really want to see. Please, can you hear me? For sure, can you hear me? All right, great. So we really want to see that in your application. Why applying for the Women Techsters and getting into the fellowship is a life changer for the other girls in your community. So now it's beyond you. Again, I'll refer back to Hilda. Right now, the Cookathon is beyond Hilda. It's now for Africa. It's now for Nigeria. And beyond that, it's now for the women to say, we can do this, we can break record and set records. So that's how it is as well, too. You need to speak to how participating in the fellowship will help you, will help your community, will help women in your community, will help girls in your community participate in STEM as well. Because Toluwani and Israel will remember during the Tech Girls Advocacy Drive, it was eye-opening for a couple of for a lot of people who participated in it, because some people couldn't understand why girls are not participating in STEM until you start engaging with girls. Then you hear strange things. Oh, my mom says I should not do STEM. Oh, my dad says I should not do STEM. And they have this wrong idea about STEM. And that's why we want people who come into the program to say, okay, I want to change the narrative. I want people to begin to see that women can do this, I can also do this. And I think finally, one of the things that we will judge you on too is the originality of what you are saying. And I see, We know that some people are going to write scripts. We know that some people are going to practice over and over and over and over and over and over again so that they don't make mistakes. Nobody's asking you to send a video that, so maybe you are thinking that, oh, if you are supposed to say is and you say her, we will judge you based off that. No. As much as we want you to speak very well, I mean, to be coherent in your language too. We also understand the human factor that, oh, maybe because you are making a video, you could be scared at some point, your heart could be palpating, very fast. We understand all of these things. What we just want you to do is that even though you've practiced over and over and over, and it's seeming like even if they wake you up in the middle of the night to recite what you've practiced, you can recite it. But we want to see the originality as well in what you are saying. We want to see that original bit of what you are saying as well. And I think there's something else that I wanted to say finally as well is, for example, if maybe you are not fluent with English. By fluent in English, maybe English is not your original first language, or when it comes to English, your tone is a little different. You may want to practice to speak slowly, but I know with practice you'll be able to maximize the 2 minutes. You will not exceed the 2 minutes, because you also do not want to think that you have submitted a good video, and the person who is reviewing your video does not understand what you said, because of language barrier, or probably, you're probably speaking very fast, you have certain accents, and they can't relate with it. So it's very important that you put all of these things into consideration, like everybody has said on the call. Think about the fact that your video is going to be reviewed by a human being, and the person needs to be able to listen, interpret, get your message, and then now probably give you a score based off your message to say, oh, I think this person is fit for this, and I think that this person is not fit for it. Overall, why you are applying is very important. How the program will benefit your community is very important. How you intend to maximize the opportunity is also very important. Everything that you say needs to add up to why you should be considered for the program. If you are not in any of 22 countries, you need to even now go an extra shot to say, although I'm from this country, although my country is not listed in the current application here. But I think that this is why I'm applying. This is one of the things I will do. This is why I think you should give me a shot. Give yourself, tell us why you need to give it a shot. And before I hand over back to my colleague, I want to say that if you've already submitted, maybe you submitted last week, you submitted before this particular session. See, I'm sure you gave it your best shot. There can never be a perfect video. Trust me. If you go back over your application, even after you were selected, I'm sure, Tolu, if you went back over your application that you have submitted, you'd have wondered, how did they pick me? Maybe you probably saw some typo, some errors here and there, because they may never really be a perfect video. For every time you go, like, oh, I think that I should have added this. I think I should have added this. I think I should have added this. So that's very important. So before I hand over to Funsho, let me quickly address a point. I know we have been talking about how to make a good motivational video, and I know that it's also very important to understand how do you upload that good motivational video, because one of the things that we have seen concurrently, you hear people say, oh, I do not have a YouTube link. I do not want to start up a YouTube channel. Nobody is asking you to start up a YouTube channel. What we are saying is, if you have, probably you signed up for YouTube, and you can sign up for free. Just sign up for YouTube, and while you sign up for YouTube, the video you've done on your phone, upload it to your YouTube, and then copy the link and paste it within the section. That's all. And in the case where you do not have a YouTube, and maybe it's very difficult for you to access a YouTube, you can always ask some other person who has a YouTube to say, oh, I would like to, can I use this? I would like to use your YouTube, upload, post it, and make sure that your name is clearly stated, like distinct. It's not, how would I say it? It's not, if you have issues, ask questions. Don't just go ahead and submit and say, oh, I do not have a YouTube link. Nobody's asking you to start up a channel. We don't think you should start up a channel, but we think that through your YouTube video, just upload your YouTube video, ensure that it's uploaded, copy the link, and then share it with us. It doesn't even have to be private. Nobody will probably see it. It's just us that will see it. All right, Funsho, thank you.
Thank you so much, Blessing. That was like a very explanatory points that you have raised, and all of the things that you have told us about the qualities and the criteria that we are looking out for to make a successful motivational video. Thank you, Toluani. Thank you, Israel, for joining in. We appreciate the fact that you've given us your time. Before you leave, I think we'll just take some comments, some questions that people have raised, and we'll just like quickly answer some of them. Again, like Blessing said, we're not looking for perfection. Just make sure that your message is clear. Practice as much as you can. If you've already uploaded your video, there is no cause for alarm. I'm sure that you did your due diligence in making sure that video is good enough. But for those that are still waiting to upload their video, I think that after this session, you have all that it takes now to submit a worthy motivational video. And I know that I can only wish you all the best. Let me just go through the comment section with the hope of seeing some questions. Somebody said, how long should the video take? I think that the maximum is 2 minutes. Blessing, correct me if I'm wrong. What you have been asked to upload is a 2 minutes video. So Israel had mentioned earlier when she was giving her point, she's like, oh, when they ask you to make videos that are short like that, just be as concise as possible, go straight to the point, don't make it too long, don't make it too short. Follow the guidelines and stick to it. Somebody said, good afternoon, everyone. I'm looking forward to being a part of the team. How do I begin? We are looking forward to having you too. It's important that you are following us on all our social media platforms. For those that don't know about the Women Techsters Fellowship Program, the Women Techsters Fellowship Program is a 1 year long program, 6 months of intense training and 6 months of internship program. So if you want to sign up for it, you still have the opportunity to apply now before it is too late. So go on our social media handles, go to our bio, you will see the link to sign up. I am still trying to go through the comment section just to see if anybody asked anything that they would want us to shed light on. Somebody said I have done more than 10 videos, but still trying. Nick, I understand how you feel, and I'm sure Toluwani can relate to the fact that you made 10 videos. If you made 10 videos, then maybe Toluwani broke the record like Hilda. At least you made an 81 videos, so you are still on the right track. But I want to encourage you that, of course, you will not have a perfect video. It's okay to send in something that you are sure of and you know that, yes, this will get me into the Women Testers Fellowship Program. But make your 11th video and submit, Neka. Don't overthink it. Show it to your friends and family, and I'm sure that they will be able to tell you whether it's good enough. Somebody said, please make available the recorded video. Yes, we'll make it available because it will be on all our platforms. So you can check Twitter, you can check LinkedIn, you can check on YouTube as well. You can check on Facebook as well. You will find the videos there. Okay. I already submitted my application last week alongside my motivation video. I'm just so obsessed with perfection. And if I didn't submit it then, I may not still feel confident enough to submit it. You're right, there's no perfect video. And I am so happy that you have turned in your video. And I know that you double checked. So I'm wishing you all the best. Hi, ladies, I have a question. Is it a full-time course or a part-time course? Blessing, do you want to speak on that?
So when I saw the question, I'm not really sure what the person is asking about, but I'll just try to explain what the fellowship is about. The fellowship is a 1 year program, 6 months of technical training and 6 months of internship. For the 6 months of the technical training, I like to always say that it's a school so that your expectations are set clearly from the very beginning. Classes are a minimum of 4 hours every day, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. I don't know what that time may be for you, but it's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And there could be times that you have to do group work with your colleagues, your classmates. I'm sure Israel and Toluani can testify. There are times that you have weekend group works that you have to submit, you have to turn in. So 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. We don't have weekend classes for the fellowship. It is not a, it's not it's not a class that it's not like the regular classes on some of the learning platforms where the classes are already recorded. There's no instructor. This particular one is instructor led, so your instructor is in class. You're expected to be in class. You're expected to ask questions, participate very well in class as well. Even though some of the classes may be recorded, there are lots of other process that is required. So you need to be in class for the entire 4 hours. So it's now left for you to make a decision as to what works for you. I mean, for some people, they will consider everything I've said now as a part time. For you who is working, you probably consider it as a full time. You need to ask yourself what works for you. Are you able to commit to the 4 hours, the minimum of 4 hours that is required Monday to Friday for the next 6 months when the fellowship program will start? The entire, I mean, from the calendar we've put out there, the class itself will start in September. So you need to be able to ask yourself, are you available for the next 6 months from September? Are you able to commit 4 hours of your time? And which could exceed 4 hours, because of some other group activities that is personal to you and to your team members. So I believe that that maybe explains it.
Okay, thank you very much, Blessing. So, somebody said, in the spirit of beautiful things, can we edit the video in terms of cut and paste together? Because I know how video editing goes and all of that, I understand what you mean, and I think yes, you can do it. So far, we don't see. So far, it's seamless. There's no jump cut or any of that. The transitions are good. I don't think we're going to have an issue with that. I already submitted mine. I hope I will be selected. I wish you all the best as well. I hope you'll be selected. Amina says, I really hope to be selected because I already submitted my application. Amina, the entire team is wishing you all the best. We can't wait to look at your application. Um, I have a question. Can I ask it here? Of course, you can ask it here. This is like the right platform to ask. Some people are not so good with expressing themselves with words, as in the video, but their written motivation is more explanatory. What about such people with very good essays? Unfortunately, we are not taking written motivational content. We are taking video because we want to connect with you. So that is important. Other applications and other program might be accepting written. We already have that part where you answer questions in words. The motivation video is like the icing on the cake that allows us to connect with our potential fellows. So yes, it is important. What about us that did more than 2 minutes? Will we be automatically disqualified? Um, if you were asked for 2 minutes, you should have given us 2 minutes. And then, Blessing, do you want to speak to that?
Okay, so well, when I saw this message as well, I don't. The last phrase says I submitted last week and wasn't aware of the 2 minutes max length. The 2 minutes max length has been there since time immemorial, from the very beginning of the application and from the place where you were asked to submit a video. It was clearly stated that the video is 2 minutes. Um, about if you'll be automatically disqualified, to be very honest, right now, I'm not able to say that, because instructions are instructions. I mean, that has to be followed. But this is just to say that I don't know, and I'm very honest right now because if it has to go through the first screening phase and it has to be screening based of 120 minutes or less than, if your video was less than 120 minutes, probably won't be a problem. But the fact that it is more than 120 minutes, you can only trust for a miracle. So I want to leave that part to you to trust for a
Pray,
miracle.
pray, amen, amen, pray.
Just
Pray for the tired Jesus, pray. So somebody said, somebody said, good afternoon. Amazing session to the moderators. Israel mentioned the importance of stating our previous experience. What if one does not have prior standard experience on his or her preferred learning track? Then just tell your story. Your story doesn't have to be tailored to Israel's story, neither does it have to be tailored to Toluwani's story. Blessing earlier mentioned that it's important that you're original. So we want to hear your own story. Why should you be considered for the Women Texas Fellowship Program? That's all we want to know, Deborah. We don't need you to copy what Israel had done or anybody. In fact, let me just speak to this again because I know we made a post on our social media platform saying that you can just, it's just a Google away. You can go to the YouTube and just search for Women Techsters Fellowship Program motivational video and something will pop out. But it is important that while those things pop out, you don't use it as a marking scheme. Get inspired by them. Look at what people have done that you can do better. Don't do anything within that standard. Do something better than that so that you are sure that you will get in. So, again, the originality is what we are gunning for.
Sorry, for sure. I also want to quickly add, and this is very important. Um, Having prior knowledge, or at least knowing the learning track you are applying for, is very important because of the second stage of the application, which will require that you participate in a technical assessment. So you probably right now may not have any knowledge within your learning track, but it's important that you do a research around your learning track. The fellowship, I mean, Tech for them, the Women Tech Stars program has different variants of programs that meet your various maybe learning degree. And so we expect that at least when you come on the fellowship, that you probably have little understanding or a little knowledge around the learning track that you're applying for. Of course, there are some people who participated on the program who did not have any prior knowledge and skilled and did well. But some of those same people did the research around the learning track so that when you are taking technical assessment, it won't be strange to you. So I think now is a good time for you to at least check courses you can take online or watch YouTube videos or ask questions around your learning track so that you are prepared for that technical bit. Because you may not be able to get into the final selection phase if you don't meet into the, in fact, you will not be able to get into the final selection phase if you do not pass the technical assessment. It may not be too difficult, but if you don't have any prior knowledge, then it will be very difficult for you as an individual. All right,
Thank you very much, Blessing, because that covers a number of questions that then follows. Because a lot of people were already asking, do I need to have background knowledge? Somebody said, can you please shed more light on the second and third stage? And I think you've covered that. The second stage is technical assessment. And so that would then qualify you for the third stage. Is the issue of posting on YouTube before uploading? Please, can you clarify? I think it has been overflogged. Um, just make your video, record it, upload it on your YouTube studio, and when you upload it, then you can copy the link and then paste it in your application question. Can a motivational speech be on any topic? I mean, now. I don't
I
know
think
where
you
to.
just have to watch the video. Just,
I
I mean, you probably joined in late. Just
mean,
after we are done with this, go back and watch the video again so that you have understanding.
okay, please, thank you very much, Amina.
Please forgive Amina.
I forgive you, Amina, because I actually really forgive you. Just go back to the video, please, and rewatch. What is the probability of not being accepted to your preferred program? Why are you already thinking that you will not be accepted into your preferred program? Please, Bonavita, I think that you should go with every sense of optimism. If not you, who else? Please, please, please. We're not entertaining negativity here. You are going to enter, and because you're going to put your best foot forward. Um, what else? Everybody is saying thank you to everybody. Thank you, Toluwani. Thank you, Isra. Thank you, Blessing. So if you are currently enrolled in the Women Textiles Bootcamp, can you say that you have gone through any of the Tech for Dev program? Definitely, you. That's what it means. You are in the system. Is it possible to re-upload another video after submission? Absolutely not. You have done it. You just go and pray. That's the next point of action. After you have after you have submitted, you have done your part, you have done your best. The rest is unto God and the Women Texters team.
No,
They
not
are
the
not.
women team. So just for correction, so that nobody looks for me outside. The application is going to be judged, I mean, screened by different independent bodies that doesn't have to do with women textiles team. This is just for fairness and so that everybody can we can all be fair with each other. We have people who are screening from different parts of Africa. So make sure that that's one of the reasons why I mentioned that you are tailoring whatever it is you are saying, you are tailoring it right. If you know you speak very fast, you want to speak slowly, because we are not the ones that is reviewing applications. We have people who have volunteered to review your application, who are expert at it. So you want to prove them right. The women textiles team will be putting emotions to it, say, oh, let's forgive them. But with the externals, we don't know them, you don't know them. So just make sure that you put your best foot forward. All right, for
Um,
sure.
Thank you so much, Blessing. How many minutes of motivational video is required? Please go back to the video and watch. We said 2 minutes. Chioma says, can I apply? I'm currently in the boot camp 2.6. Absolutely, Chioma. We want to see your application. Can't wait to make you proud for future opportunities. We can't wait to celebrate you too. I don't care. Is there a time limit for the video? Mine was longer than 10 minutes. I wonder what you were saying, Gina. For 10 minutes. The maximum limit for the video is 2 minutes, Gina. Hopefully your story is worthy to sway the independent judges, but it's just important to go by the instructions and guidelines of this program, guys. We've reiterated it, Israel mentioned it, so that it will not just come from us, the Tech for Dev team. We invited people that have gone through the process, our current alumni, and we invited Toluwani, we invited Israel, and they've told you how to successfully have it. Just follow the guidelines. Read the instruction, guys. Okay, so I think that we have successfully had a good live session, and we have answered all the questions that regards motivational video. And we know that anybody that sends anything less than what we've discussed today, I don't know what you deserve. But I'm sure that we have done our bit. Toluwani, do you have any last words for the prospective fellows coming? Do you have any last words for them?
Yeah, I will just say you should not be less confident about yourself. Put your best foot forward and be excellent at what you do. Even after the motivation video in subsequent processes, be excellent at what you do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toluwani. Israel, any last words?
Yes, I want to say that you don't have to copy others' work. Your story is unique and good enough to be shared. And good luck.
Oh, thank you so much. I love that you said your story is unique enough for us to hear it, for you to share it. So be very confident, just like Toluwani said. Your story is unique enough. Blessing, any last words?
Well, my last word will be please put in your best foot forward. If you submitted your application before now, I wish you the very best. If you are yet to submit, do not procrastinate. Now, today is the best time for you to submit your application. I'm sure that you've gotten the best tips. And I think that for people who have not submitted, you've gotten almost all of the best tips. Um, well, recently I got selected for an opportunity, and it was because I also joined in some live sessions from people who had gone through that particular process, and it really helped my application process. It made it very easy for me to be able to get into it. So I think that for people who have not applied, you have learned a lot from this. Please go ahead and submit your application. And one more thing, please don't submit your application alone. Invite other women and girls in your community or your world to also submit the applications. Don't feel like by informing them it will reduce your own chance of being selected. No, don't do that. Just go ahead, and their win is your win and your win is also their win. And who knows, all of you can be selected as well. So but just go ahead and ensure you spread the news to everyone. Today, now is the best time to submit your application. Click enter for some of you. I know some of you are creating your application in a document and you're just waiting to copy and paste. Today is the best time for you to copy and paste and click submit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Blessing. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this afternoon, which is now evening. in Lagos, Nigeria. We appreciate you for joining in. We wish you all the very best in your application process. And remember, like we said, be confident. Your story is worthy enough to be told, and it's just good enough. Be confident and just put your best foot forward. So see you some other time. Thank you, Toluwani. Thank you, Isra, for giving us your time. We appreciate you. We also wish you all the best. Keep making us proud. We are super proud of you guys, and we can't wait to tell more of your stories. Don't forget to share it with us when you land all those big jobs, earning lots of money. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Bye, ladies. Thank you.
Bye. Bye. Bye, everyone.